Rattle and Roll. A cool old tune. Hi, I'm Red, and I'm here today to help you take a look at Shake, Rattle, and Roll. The song originally was just a 3-chord 1-4-5 pattern. It's been done by several different performers, and I believe made it into Billboard's top 500, but the song is definitely noteworthy. In my version, I'm in the key of C, and in my version I add to that 1-4-5 a 2 minor and then also a 1-6-2-5 turnaround. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll through the track. I'm going to play a couple of rhythm examples, and then I'll do some lead examples, and then I'll talk a little bit about what I've done. I'm going to show you two very cool 1-6-2-5 moves. One will be working with ensemble chords, which I use a lot in this song, leaving the bass open for the bass player to play. Very common in old school. When they used an upright bass, they would, the guitar players and keyboard players would try to stay away from the bass notes a little bit to leave that room for the bassist. But anyway, I'm going to roll the track, do some demonstration, and then I will explain it. And here we go with some rhythm. It's like a C6. My pinky is doing some work. F9, a diminished. 2 minor. That was one of the 1-6-2-5. Now for some leads. Okay, so there was some cool little demonstrations of rhythm and lead, and specifically I'm going to emphasize on using the ensemble chords, shortened chords without a bass note, in this case a 4-note chord, and I want you to realize I'm thinking of it as 4 individual instruments, like a horn section, and I let the trumpet player on top do a little bit of work. Adds a little melody to the chord. Now I'd also like to point out I'm hybrid picking. I'm using a pick and 3 fingers. Okay, so we've got the 1 chord. You could use this, which is like a 6th chord. You could use a 9th chord, use sliding 6th. You could use a major chord or a 7th chord. You could use a 9th chord. You could add a sharpened 9th at some points, like Brian Setzer, I've noticed, does that for an accent right before a change. kind of a cool little aggressive thing to do. You could also use this 9th chord. I call it the Stevie Ray Vaughan 9th. You could also drop the pinky. Now you've got that, and that kind of adds a little question mark in my mind. That's what it feels like, a little question mark all of a sudden happens. Mystery. So that's the 1 chord. Now we got the 4 chord. I'm using an F9. You could certainly use other Fs. I'm playing this diminished chord. My fingers are pinky, 1st string, 7th fret. My 2nd finger, 2nd string, 7th fret. So that was 8th fret, 7th fret. My ring finger, 3rd string, 8th fret, and my 1st finger, 4th string, 7th fret. And I believe that is a F diminished. Yeah. From there I went to the 1 again. Then the 2 minor comes into play. I used a D minor 7. Then we've got a 5, a G9. Now for the 1-6-2-5 turnaround. So I'm going to show you both of these. The first one is real simple, and you basically are playing the C6 chord, ensemble version, or C13 you might call it. But anyway, you just move that chord up 3 frets, then chromatically walk down. A very cool 1-6-2-5 move. Very easy to play once you get used to it. Now the other 1-6-2-5 move I'm going to give you uses full chords. And if you analyze these chords, the 1-6-2-5 chords, with the ones I just showed you, you will find that all of those notes are in place in each of these chords as it moves down. It's just kind of a cool thing that happens. But anyway, this one involves a walking bass. And I'm going to do it for you slowly, and hopefully you'll be able to pick it up. Once again. The chords, if you'll notice while I'm playing those chords, these 2 fingers are not moving. I mean, they're moving up and down, but they're not coming off of the string. I'm using them as guide fingers. Now, as for the lead, I'm playing minor pentatonic, major pentatonic. I'm using chord tones and passing tones. I'm trying to think lighthearted, maybe with a little bit of humor to it. I have a tendency of doing that in swings. I feel that that is a good element to add to swings. Very common if you listen to Brian Setzer, if you listen to some of the old Texas guys. One of my favorites, Clarence Gatemouth Brown, a great swing player. But you'll hear some humor, some levity in there. And so try to think and feel that into your solo. And remember, when I'm soloing, I'm not thinking of the mathematics other than I'm trying to create a melody. I feel the interval to the next note. I know how far to go to get to the next note that I want to hear. And so that takes time to develop. And to do that, you just want to work with melodies, work with some old simple melodies, nursery rhymes, whatever, and memorize them and try to spice them a little yourself and try to, the major scale as well. These are great tools to learn to develop that sense of interval. Anyway, in the leads, I was playing, I don't remember exactly what I played, but I was playing in the minor pentatonic. There's a major tone that I'm adding to the minor pentatonic. I just outlined an a sixth chord, actually. There's the sixth. Put that flatted seventh in there. I was up here in the BB box, major pentatonic. I walked myself back to the minor pentatonic. So, I just walked back into the minor pentatonic. There's some cool swing leads that have some humor to them. The Chuck Berry thing. That, there's so many different ways to emulate that light-hearted. I don't want to get too deep into humor as much as light-hearted with a slight bit of humor. Anyway, I will see you next time with another lesson.